Hey guys, it's your host Aku here. So I wanted to first off apologize. This video was originally supposed to be out back in April, but a lot of things happened. First off, I had COVID, so I couldn't really do anything while I was in isolation. And I was also working on the special anniversary video, which is a 3DS collection video. There's a reason for that if you look more into the video, and I highly recommend you check that out. So, without further ado, let's really get into the current state of the channel, the current state of my LP projects, and why not. I'm gonna be really quick with it. So, yeah. So both Hamtaro and Miitopia are essentially there's plenty of clips that I made. Plenty of clips. They're all uploaded, but I would have to pretty much do some finishing touches and schedule them to be published or be public to the platform completely so that everyone can watch them. Hamtaro, I'm very close to finishing the main story, and after that I would eventually just zoom through the post game, because that essentially just means I'm getting the rest of the hem chat, so that eventually I get the extra hem chat you get by the end of it, and then go through the second staff credits. That's essentially the post game. There's also the scavenger hunt to search for stars, but that's really all for bragging rights, so I won't necessarily go through that. In Miitopia, I've already finished the main story. It's just that you guys haven't seen it yet because I haven't published them yet. But basically this means that I'm currently up to the post game. And sometimes the post game can be pretty big. There's a few things you could definitely do during the post game, which still kind of surprised me to this very day. It surprised me when I first did it on the 3DS, and it certainly still surprised me to this very day on the Switch. But you know, so there's that. I think the only way I would end the playthrough would be after finishing or at least getting through the Tower of Despair. This is essentially a brand new feature. This is a new tower that's added exclusively for the Switch version. So yeah, there's that. But we're practically long way to go before we get to that point. So I would say maybe at least 20 videos, it really give and take. So who knows if this playthrough might beat the 3DS version and could be considered the longest Let's Play on the channel. Who knows? Last but not least, there is Ape Escape. So about that, there's good news and bad news, but the good news is that it's not canceled. And I'll definitely tell you why there. The bad news is that your girl cannot use Vulkan anymore. For those who don't know, every single emulators, and yes, this even includes ones that you would think don't need, but you know, like the GBA emulators, you wouldn't really think of using renderers. But yeah, every emulators will have display renderers for you to use to run the emulator to run the games. For DuckStation in particular, it automatically comes with Vulkan, but it also comes with some of the other standard renderers like OpenGL and Direct 3D. Depending on your graphics card, one of those display renderers would work best. Again, depending on what graphics card you're using on your PC. In my case, it's Intel, so normally Direct 3D would be the best option for me. But I've seen OpenGL kind of work for me just as fine. But it depends on the emulator. Vulkan, however, was once considered, or actually to a lot of people, it's considered the best renderer for DuckStation for whatever reason. But I found out that using any other ones just work fine, anyways. But so you're probably asking, what's so concerning about Vulkan? Well, in my end, Vulkan doesn't work for me anymore. I've been getting this weird error message. If I remember correctly, and I'm probably going to, I'm gonna put it there. You'll get a better idea what do you call this error. But it's goes somewhere along the line of failed to submit command buffer, some shit. So when I did a little bit of digging about there, it turns out that this is a very common thing, and this only happens if you're trying to use Vulkan. Apparently, this is a chance that can actually happen to some people. But that's because it turns out that Vulkan is essentially an outdated OpenGL. Not only that, I've also found out that Vulkan is essentially considered experimental. It's not 100% stable at all. And because of the fact that it's not really a stable display renderer, it's prone to have this kind of error like that. So later on, I eventually found out that in order to just bypass the situation, you just have to like change the display renderer, which is what I ended up doing. So I ended up doing is changing it to OpenGL, and the game finally worked again. Zero fucking issues. And so far, OpenGL only works when I'm trying to record the video. All the other ones, like the Direct3D 11 and Direct3D 12, I think, they both work just as well. It's just that for some reason they don't fucking like OBS very much. Only OpenGL I'm able to play and record. The other two I can only just play the game. You know, if I'm just playing the game, it wouldn't even be an issue. But you know, unfortunately, unfortunately, I'm trying to record the video, so OpenGL is the only other option. So, which honestly, it's not a total loss. I'm fine with it as long as something fucking works. Then you know, I could continue with the project. Another good news about it too is that I did manage to record some videos, for it. It's not fully finished because there was a point where I had to like stop the recording because I have folks coming in. But yeah, that's a thing. So I think that's really practically everything. This is probably one of the, if not the shortest update video I've ever fucking done. But I wanted to get this quickly out there. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a much better understanding, you know, what's going on. Not only that, personal things that have been happening in my life, as has been going on much lately. The good news is that I'm finally in a different school, and I would be enrolling for the upcoming fall. So that's good news. And I'm still working on I'm still working on the process of like, you know, evaluating my credits, getting transferred and whatnot. I've finally been reached contact with somebody. It took them a while after I got accepted, but anyways, at least I'm back on track in terms of real life shit. If you want a little bit more information of what was been happening in real life, I would recommend checking out my last update video. It still kind of applies here, and you'll get a much better idea what's been happening. And don't worry, the plans that I've said before from the other video, I still gonna make it apply here. It's just a lot of things have been happening, and it almost makes it look like I didn't make much progress with the current LPs that I currently have here at the moment. But don't worry, things are moving along. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!